Okay, hello guys, how's it going? Welcome to episode 19 of the pod. Coming out in 19 episodes. Honestly, I thought, I was when I started this, I was like halfway through. This mic's so fucking tangled. I was halfway through, this could be really shit, and I'll just stop doing it eventually. Or I'll be super consistent, and by the 100th episode, people will actually listen to it, right? I still have hope for that. But podcast is getting consistent views. The shorts are doing well, getting subs from the shorts. So what's up if you're here from the shorts? Welcome. I've got, I'm feeling good about this podcast. I'm feeling good about it. It's not growing right now, but it's staying consistent, which is all you can ask for, Consistency is key. It's anything I've learned doing content, But, how are you guys? You can't fucking answer because you're listening to a screen. You're driving or playing FIFA or whatever the fuck you're doing. Actually, that's interesting. Message me. Let me know what you are doing while you're listening to the podcast, because I can just fuck with people. I'll be like, yo, you stacking shelves at Woolies. Quit your job. But yeah, it's been a interesting, not interesting week at all. Wasn't feeling myself this week. I don't know if it was burnout or I was just being a little bitch, or I was I don't know what it was, but this week I just didn't feel great, all the TikToks I put out I thought were pretty shit, just because I was I don't know, I wasn't feeling it, you're just not feeling it. Actually, I think I know why. Something happened on Tuesday that fucked with me, but I'll get to that. Right now, I want to talk about Netflix's shitty fucking horror series that they keep putting out. All right, I watched The Midnight Club. There's a plane. Why you gotta go over now? I'm trying to do my podcast. God, the people at the airport have no respect for this podcast, I watched The Midnight Club, which is the newest Mike Flanagan horror series. Mike Flanagan, if you don't know him, is the GOAT of comedy series. He did The Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor, Midnight Mass, and now The Midnight Club. So when I saw it come on Netflix, I was super stoked to watch it. I was like, oh my god, new Mike Flanagan, he's the GOAT. Let's fucking go. Haunting of Hill House, I remember I watched it, and shit doesn't scare me as I'm watching it, because I just think about the production. I'm like, oh, I wonder how they fucking how much they paid the makeup artist. Oh, there's probably a camera there, and there. I wonder where the boom is. What kind of lighting did they? I'm always thinking about that shit, so it doesn't scare me. But then I need to go up to take a piss, and I'm like, what if this house has been haunted the whole 10 years I've lived here, and I never noticed? I'm sure that happens to everyone else. You watch it, I'm not scared of this. This is just a horror film. It doesn't even make sense. It's bad. The acting's terrible. Nothing looks real. It's obviously a rush job. This is a shitty horror flick. And then you go to the bathroom, and you're I'm not looking in any of the mirrors or at any of the windows. I don't want to have a fucking heart attack. Fuck that. You guys know what I'm talking about, But yeah, Haunting of Hill House I thought was really boring for 6 episodes, and then at the end it was oh my god, this is the best show, because everything came together. Same thing with Bly Manor. I remember Bly Manor, I was interested the whole time, but there was parts where I was this is so boring. And then Midnight Mass, I thought was genuinely one of the best series I've ever watched. If you haven't seen Midnight Mass, go watch it. It is amazing. There's going to be spoilers from here out from what happens, so I don't know, pause the podcast, go back to it. Actually, just mute it and leave it running, because I need the watch time, for the algorithm. So just do me a favor. All right, cheers. So I just burped, which I do every fucking podcast. Should be used to it by now if you're a repeat listener. Midnight Mass was amazing. That's it's a show about this priest who fucks off to the Middle East or some shit. I forget. And he's exploring this cave, and he runs into what he believes to be an angel, but the angel is very clearly a vampire. And I remember watching it, and I could tell everyone was wearing old people makeup, they looked like Johnny Knoxville in Bad Grandpa, and I was like, what the fuck? I was messaging my friend who also watched it, why the fuck is everyone in this old people? Didn't they just cast old people? And then is because the priest, who's now also a vampire, has smuggled the angel / vampire into this fucking remote island that they're on. and he's like holding midnight masses because he can't be in the sunlight because he's a vampire, and he's like giving everyone blood, and he like heals this girl's paralysis. Yeah, that's the word, paralysis, and like everyone starts de-aging throughout the thing, and I was like, okay, I get it now. But great fucking series, definitely watch it, check it out. So yeah, because of that, coming off the back of Midnight Mass, I was really excited for the Midnight Club. I was like, let's go. And it sucks. It's so bad, guys. Like, what's it about is like, it's about these like a hospice for like these fucking teenagers. They're all terminally ill. I think that's what a hospice means. Put it together. I don't know. Figure it out. Don't rely on me. I'm an idiot. Okay. Terminally ill kids at a hospice, and they're just like living out their days there, right? And what happens is every night at midnight, they all sneak out of their rooms to go to like this massive fucking library, and they just like tell horror stories, right? And now my problem with this is everyone in the hospice is like a really good storyteller. It's like, that's not like, have you ever heard anyone actually try and tell a story? Like, oh yeah, so we were drinking Red Bulls, and we'll walk to the 7-Eleven because these ones, like, we need to get a refund. And I forgot to say, we were on Chapel Street, right? So we're on Chapel Street and we're drinking Red Bulls, and we're about to go to 161. No, was it 161 or was it Electric? Was it one of those two, right? One of those two. And so we go there and we're there. Oh, it was Electric, right? We go there and we're there, and we're like, should we have vodka Red Bull, because we already had a Red Bull before? That's probably unsafe, because I don't know if you know, but Red Bull, like, it's like a diuretic, right? And it's not good for your heart. So no, it's not good for your heart, but you'll be pissing all night. So yeah. Oh wait, actually no, we're at 161. Yeah, we're at 161 because it was a Friday. Was it a Friday? I think it was a Friday. I don't know. Anyways, man, you just had to be there, you know? Like, long story short, I fucked a fat chick. That's how most people tell stories. And everyone's like a fucking movie director, they're like a screenplay writer. The stories are written so well, but also the stories themselves were boring. Like, I was not like, they're like the story serve as like subplots and like, you know, the moral battle each character's going through. It's like an insight into how they're feeling, which like is a good technique, I guess, for storytelling. But I just didn't vibe with it. The main character was like borderline unlikable. Her name's Alanka, which is a sick name. But Alanka's like got a thyroid cancer, right? But the show opens with that classic like Hollywood not knowing how teenagers talk bullshit. So like, she sneaks out to go to a party. She's like a massive nerd. She sneaks out to go to a party, and the friend picks her up, and the friend's like, I don't know, I'm having second thoughts about sneaking out to go to this party. And Alanka's like, come on, we were busy all year being total nerds. We got to do this. It's like, just no one talks like that. Netflix. Oh my God. And yeah, it was just boring. And it was an 8-episode series. A 10-episode series, so it was fucking 10 hours. I just did the shit I was making fun of before. 10-hour series, and it was so boring. The characters are borderline unlikable. There's no one to root for. There's some weird fucking cult plotline happening, but also Alanka's seeing visions, and she's like being haunted. So it's like the place is haunted, and there's this cult story going along, and every character's subplot story that they're telling at Midnight Club. It's just a fucking mess, and none of it's entertaining. And I was just watching it like, is anything good gonna happen? And guys, nothing good happens. Like, because I was like, alright, it's a Flanagan series, so it'll be boring for like 7 episodes. And then you'll watch the last 3 and you'll be like, oh my God, I need to rewatch the whole thing to pick up all the clues I mean, you know? It wasn't like that at all. Let me tell you, it was the most underwhelming ending to a fucking show I've ever watched. Nothing gets solved. I don't know if they're going to do a season 2, but I feel like they kind of have to because everything's left unsolved. But I know Flanagan's got like 2 other series in the making. It's like, how the fuck's he going to do a season 2, you know? It's ridiculous. Like, and there's so many bullshit jump scares. Like, there's this one in the first Midnight Club. This girl's telling the story, and the story is actually kind of scary. It's like this guy's like walking home, and he goes down a street he doesn't recognize, and he's like, "What the fuck? I don't know this street." And he's like, I don't recognize any of these houses. And he's looking at the houses, and in every house, at every window, there's the people just smiling at him, just like that creepy smile, you know? And I was like, that's terrifying. Because I do that a lot. I walk home late at night, you know? And I'm always terrified of shit like that. And like that, now that image is in my mind. Like, this is scary. And then this like girl comes to help him out, but she's got like the milky eyes and the shitty makeup on. Like she's like a horror. She's like dead, like a mummy, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And she just screams. She's like ah in the face, and she keeps popping up and screaming. And it gets to the point where she's just staring at the camera screaming. And I was like, what the fuck? So I Googled it after I finished the series to find out. And apparently, Netflix were like to Flanagan, you need more jump scares. And he was like, I don't like jump scares. They're cheap. So what he did was he just overloaded the first episode with jump scares. There was like 27 scripted jump scares, which apparently is the world record. And the reason he said he did it was so now, whenever they ask him in the future more jump scares, he's going to be like, I think I've done enough. Which I fucking hate. Why do the execs have to intervene? Just you've hired the creator, let him create. All right? Like, I know I've done brand deals, guys. I know how it works. Have I told you guys, like, why every brand deal's bad on TikTok? The reason every brand deal is bad is because literally the brand no brands will fucking watch this, I can say this. The brand will reach out to like your management or you or whatever, and they'll send you a brief, which is, this is the video we want you to make. And then you'll try and figure out how you can fit their product into a video format you already have. So for me, like, something like FIFA, gaming, I'm forgetting all the series I have, but I have a few series. So it's like, which one can I fit it into? Then your management agrees on a price, and you make it. And when you get it, you're like, because they pay very well, the brand deals. And you're like, this is the easiest money I'm ever going to make. This is fucking awesome. You're like happy. You make the video, you send it to your management sends it to the brand, and the brand's always like, love it. Could you just do it? Could you just do us a favor? Could you just make it shit? Is that alright? Could you just make it shit? Like, we notice there's jokes in there. We don't want jokes. Can you just hold up the product and be like, buy this, and just yell the brand's name down the lens of the camera? That'd be great. And then it ends up taking like 3 weeks for you to agree to something you like and they like. And usually the deadline's passed for when they wanted the video. So they'll try and renegotiate the price. It's a whole fucking hassle, right? So just know, whenever you see a creator you like post a brand deal, and you watch and you're like, this sucks, I hate having to watch this, just know they hated making it and putting it out, and they also think it sucks. Alright? There you go. And the other Netflix series I watched was The Watcher, which is based on a true story. I was reading about it. Apparently it's a hoax, but who the fuck cares? It's a story about family, classic, family moves into a house in some, rich suburb. And they keep getting letters from someone called The Watcher saying like, oh, thank you for all the new blood you've brought into the house. And they know extravagant details about the family's life. And it's like, how the fuck do they know this? And anyway, spoiler alert, ends up being revealed that there's like a secret passage in the basement that people, like the neighbors, like someone's living in this fucking tunnel system under the house, right? And you assume they're the Watcher. But it was another one where like the first 4 episodes I was so hooked. I started it at like 8 p.m. last night because, wild Saturday night for me. Staying inside watching the Netflix. And then by episode 5 I was like, this makes no fucking sense. Just fucking wrap it up, bro. Just wrap it up. Like, and then the ending was just like, we don't know who the Watcher is. And I guess it's up to the audience to make their interpretation, but I don't want to make an interpretation. I just want to see there, and I just want to sit there and have all the information presented to me, And also, they got fucking all they can't write teenagers, bro. There's like a 15, 16-year-old girl dating a 19-year-old. It's super fucking weird. There's like a 16-year-old, the daughter of the family that moves into the house, right? And the dad hires security not security, like a tech guy to come in and install cameras and alarm system and shit. And he's like this 19-year-old with his own business. And he starts hooking up with the daughter, right? And then the dad finds out and gets super fucking pissed off. And then the way it's portrayed is to make you see, like, make the audience think the dad's in the wrong. And it's like, his daughter's 16, fucking a 19-year-old who works for him. Anyone would be mad. And then the daughter's cut. So she goes on TikTok live, right? But it's just her phone camera with like the little red recording, but it's just her recording on her fucking phone. And it's like, okay, this is something I've been living with for a while. My dad's racist and my boyfriend's black and my dad doesn't like it. And it, for some reason, goes viral. And the dad, like, is, like, under question, like, are you racist? For, like, 30 minutes of the episode, and they never bring it up again. But, yeah, she's, like, sexting the 19-year-old. And the dad finds out and takes her phone, right? So the 19-year-old, the boyfriend, thinks he's being ghosted. And so he's, like, quadruple texting her, like, silent treatment, question mark, comma, haha, comma, lol. No one fucking texts like that. Like, doesn't anyone in the writer's room just have, like, a teenage kid that they can be like, hey, just write the text messages for us, you know? And there's also the classic fucking, what's it, like, character beat, I guess you could call it, of the angsty teenager who hates their parents and is always on their phone. It's like, stop making this fucking character. We've seen it. We've seen it. All right, it's been done to death. Like the opening scene with the daughter's like, she's on the phone, and he's like, "Hey, get off the phone," you know. And she's like, "You made me move away from all my friends, so fuck you, Dad." And he's like, "Well, I don't seem to recall you ever talking to your friends in person anyway. It was always on that TikTok app and the Snapgram and." Why? Like, just. If you have, like, a teenager at home, just bring the script home and be like, hey, can you just read this and make sure it's not fucking stupid? Could you just do that for me? Oh, man. There was something else. Oh, there's also a scene where the 16-year-old's, like, taking nudes. And it's like, don't show us this. Just imply it. It wasn't even an important plot point. It only served to the plot for the dad to find out about it and then ban her from seeing the kid and then her to say he was racist on TikTok live. Also, you need like a fucking 1,000 followers on TikTok to go live. So where the fuck did she get 1,000 followers from? What was she doing? It's hard to get 1,000 followers. You know, you gotta upload videos. You gotta have one pop. It's not easy. And then for it to go viral on TikTok live. Like, there was a scene in, like, The Office where the dad's secretary is like, is this your daughter? And it's like it's just, like, the video. And it's like, she did it on fucking TikTok live. Did some cunt screen record it and post it? Like, this is so implausible. Like, Netflix, just fucking, oh, man, just make a good show. Yeah, so what a waste of time that was watching. Don't watch any of those two series, guys, if you haven't seen it. There's no fucking point. But what else happened this week? Let me get my notes up. I always write down some conversational topics. Oh, I just played Foot Champs, and it was better than last week. I actually got the 45 points or whatever, and it was good. But, like, yeah, I got Red Pick Mason Mount and another one you never heard of. So it's like, that's good. I don't mind. Like, an 86 rated Red Pick, that'll be good for SBCs later in the game, you know? I'm preparing long term. I'm investing. And I got in my 50k pack, I got no one. 100k pack, I got Tony Cruz. So I was like, 20k out of that. And I got some discard inform. So I got another, like, 10k out of that. And then my Team of the Week pack, I got Mason Mount again. So I sold him for, like, 15k. Or 17k, whatever the fuck he was worth on Footbin. And I got 2 other discard informs. So, like, Foot Champs is worth it for me this week. Because I made, like, nearly 100k from it. So I'm going to get Erling Haaland. I'm keen. Sorry for those of you who don't give a fuck about FIFA and you had to endure only FIFA chat last week and now more FIFA chat today. But yeah, Champs is fucking hard, man. I found it much harder this week. I was like 2-8 and then I went on like a win streak to get however many wins I got, you know? But yeah. What else? Oh, the reason I was like shitty this week. On Tuesday, I hosted a shitty open mic in the city. Actually, it's like a pretty decent open mic. You know, it's not a shitty open mic. I hosted an open mic in the city. And it was really hot on Tuesday for some reason. It was really hot. And the room's really stuffy. There's like a really loud fridge going. And it was just really hot in the room. So it was all stuffy. No one wanted to be there. When I got to the show, the first half was winding down. I was hosting the second half. And yeah, I was already in a shitty mood. I was just like, I don't remember why. I don't remember what happened. But I remember I had no energy to do comedy. Why'd I say it like that? I didn't feel funny. Like, I was talking to my friends outside and they were all joking around. I just had nothing to contribute, you know? And I was like, fuck, this is going to be bad. So I start hosting the second half. My first 2 jokes get laughs. And then I don't know what I did, but I just lost them. I need to listen back to the voice memo to figure out where I just lost them. And not only did I lose them, by the end of the night, they actively hated me. Which is bad when you're the host, because the show relies on you being likable. Like, it's your job, when people are on stage, when the other comedians are performing, as the host, it's your job to, like, give them the light, which is basically like, it was a 5-minute set. At 4.5 minutes, you shine a fucking light in their face from the back of the room to be like, hey, wrap it up. Or, you know, they say the N-word, and then you got to light them at 1 minute, and that's on them. And I was doing that, and apparently when I was doing the light, I'd turn around to, like, walk away. Like, some kid was just giving me the finger. He was just like, fuck you. I was like... And, like, at a point, I was like, all right, maybe if I acknowledge how bad I'm doing, they'll start to come around. So I got up, and I was like, guys, this is my worst ever gig. So just know if I make it, you're at my worst ever gig. And they still just fucking hated me, bro. It was bad. But then it was good. I did Speakeasy Theatre in the city on Friday night, and that was wild. We did like a burlesque show. We didn't do it. There was a burlesque show before we got on. It was fucking crazy. It was so wild, and the crowd's loving like, wow. And it was so weird. They're watching this girl with like the nicest ass you've ever seen, and she's twerking and she's doing all this burlesque stuff, and the crowd's going wild. And then there's like, all right, we're gonna tell jokes. But yeah, it was good. It was weird because the half of the stage, like half of the audience, was like old people. There was like these 2 white couples in the middle, and then the other half was like this group of like black girls, right? And my friend who was emceeing starts panicking. He's like, bro, I can't introduce you tonight. I can't say your last name. You guys know my last name's Negro. And I was like, why not? He's like, bro, I can't say it. There's so many black people in the crowd. And I was like, they won't care. It's like, it's my last name. They, like, in my experience with my last name, black people always question me on it. And then when I tell them, they just find it hilarious. And I was like, it'll be fine. They won't care. And then I'll get up and I have a couple jokes about my last name that I open with. I was like, and that'll take the heat off it. Don't worry. He's like, no, I can't implicate myself. So then I start passing out because he starts convincing me. Because my first time at this room, so I don't know what the crowd's like. So now I'm thinking, fuck, is this like crowd going to fucking jump me? And I'm panicking. I'm like, what's going on? And then he's like, I'm going to say Najaro. And I was like, you don't pronounce my name wrong. Can't just fucking... He's like, but I can't say it. And I was like, don't say Najaro. Because then I can't do my opening bit. Because they're going to be like, wait, the host said Najaro. You know what I mean? And he goes, all right, okay, I won't say that. I'm like, okay, just go on. If you don't want to say it, just go, all right, guys, please welcome to the stage my good friend Anthony. Or like, the next comedian is my friend Anthony. Just say something. Just say Anthony. Don't say my last name. If you're that scared, right? He goes, okay, all right, I'll do that. Gets up on stage. He goes, please welcome to the stage, Anthony Najaro. I'm like, fuck. And then so I do my opening joke. And the first line of my opening joke is, I get up. So before that, I'm doing the fucking bad storytelling again. I go, my last name's actually Negro, And what the fuck? And then I was like, yeah, it's funny because I feel like I was born with 3 things that made me innately racist. And then I list like 3 things, and there's a big punch at the end, and it's not racist at all. Okay, so just relax. And I said, I have 3 things that make me innately racist, and then like 3 of the black girls are like, what? What'd you say? What was that? And I was like, no, let me get through it. Let me get through it. Let me get through it. And I do the joke, and they laughed. And honestly, fucking fair play to them, because I got up and I was like, I have 3 things that make me innately racist to a black audience, and they let me finish it. If that was white girls, they wouldn't have let me finish it. They would have kept screaming shit at me. They would have been heckling. They would have made a big deal. They would have posted on TikTok. Australia would have a fucking day where the AFL wears like a different jersey. It would have been a whole thing, right? And I do the joke, and they laugh, and then I just do my set normally from there. But then it was kind of a battle with them. Like, I didn't do well. I didn't do bad. I was like somewhere in between. And I got off stage and someone was like, they didn't believe your last name was Negro. And I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, because I just nearly name dropped him. Because the MC said Najaro. They thought that was your last name. Then when you said Negro, they thought you were just telling a really bad joke. He's like, you had to hammer it home. That was your last name. And I was like, fuck, that's a good point. And then where we are backstage, the green room, people have just walked through to go to the bathroom. And one of the black girls walks through. And she's like, oh, like, good set to me and my friends, like, blah, blah, blah. We're like, oh, yeah, thanks. And then she's like, is that actually your last name? And I'm like, yeah. And I show her my license. And she thinks it's the funniest thing ever. So I was proven right. But yeah, it was really interesting, It was a really funny thing. But it was good because you learn from it, You learn from those gigs. You learn what's funny, what's not. But yeah, it just highlighted to me how white girls are the worst audience. Because if they were white girls, they would not have let me fucking do the thing. The 2 worst audiences I've found so far, I've been doing stand-up for 9 months, is drunk alpha male fuckheads and white girls. Easily the 2 worst. Because drunk alpha male fuckheads, they just want to, I don't know, I think they need to prove their fucking alphaness. And they'll yell out shit to you. They'll try and get into an argument with you. They want to be funny. And usually, right, it's very hard to beat the comedian because they have the microphone. Unless they're if a comedian's doing well and you try and heckle them, you're not going to win. If they're bombing and you heckle them, yeah, you just scoring layups at that point. But if they're doing well and you heckle them, people just aren't going to like you because they're enjoying the show. And the comic has a microphone, so they can just talk over you. They can just resort to childish shit. Just like, blah, blah, blah. And white girls, because they always have a problem with fucking everything. I remember once, I get up on stage. I wasn't even doing the joke about my last name yet. I just used to not even address it. The comedian goes, Anthony Negro. I go up and she goes, what is your name? And I go, oh, it's Anthony. And she goes, Negro. And I go, yeah. And she goes, that's a bit problematic, isn't it? And I was like, how the fuck is it problematic? It's my name. And she was like, some people might find it offensive. You should really adopt a stage name. And I was like, I find it offensive you telling me to change my name, you dumb bitch. How about that? And then I got in trouble from people running the room. Anyways, that's the podcast, guys. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed. All the same shit. Like, subscribe, all that. Follow me on Instagram. DM me. Talk to me. Send me don't send me dick pics. Yeah, but do whatever. Thanks for listening. Catch.